Growing up in the South was definitely hard for me. I never felt like I fit in, especially when it came to religion and when it came to, being queer. Growing up, I was molested by a family member, being physically beaten. He would beat me up, slap me around. They thought from the outside looking in, that's the big cousin toughening you up, making you a man. But in real life, he was torturing me. He was abusing me so that I didn't say anything, so that he could put fear in me, so that I would never say anything. From the ages of 7 to 11, being sent to a family member's house by my mother daily. I'm sending to your auntie house. I'm like, please, don't send me. I did not want to go. I didn't want to go. I used to tell my mom all the time, can I just stay at home with you? I learned how to, wash clothes and sweep up hair so I could stay at her salon. I did everything in my power to stay just in her presence so that I didn't have to be around him. And I cried, I begged, daily. And that was difficult. This person actually told me if I told anybody, he was gonna hurt me, he was gonna hurt my brother, he was gonna hurt my mom. So he kind of almost made me feel guilty and kind of guilt tripped me into doing it. Crazy enough, he ends up going to jail years later for molesting somebody, and then years later he ends up going to jail for killing somebody. So that kind of gives you the kind of person that he was. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know who to tell. I didn't know who I could confide in. I couldn't tell my mom. I couldn't tell my grandmother because then I felt shame. It was the shame that kept me quiet. It was the fear of, what would they say about you if they knew, that kept me quiet. I'm being molested and raped. I'm getting beat by you. I'm going to church and being told that I'm going to hell. Who can I talk to? I'll never forget the year that he got out of jail. I had at that time confided in my cousin, and she ended up telling my mom that morning what he did to me. And my mom made me go to a party, his getting out party. It was just torturous. It was I don't even want to go. I don't want to experience him. I don't want to be around him. Nobody knew what happened. My mom didn't even tell them what I had disclosed to her. He comes to the house and we're all sitting in the living room, and he locks eyes on me. And then they look at him and then they look at me. It was one of the most gut-wrenching feelings in my life. I felt so disgusted. And even still that same night, my mom is still beating me because I'm gay. I cannot win. I didn't have anybody to lean into. Around 13, I told my mom that I was gay, and she just lost it. She beat me, took things from me, constantly being told why you walk like that? Why you talk like that? Why do you look like that? On a daily, it broke me. And so that fun, vibrant child that I was growing up, was being kind of broken. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. I'm about to get to a part that I don't want to get to. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. After that, I went through a lot of in and out her house, constantly being told you're the reason why I don't love you. And growing up as a child, no father, nobody to, love me or support me. And you're a parent. The one parent that is taking care of you is saying, you're the reason why I don't love you, is so heartbreaking. You know, I was in church, laying on the altar, praying to get away, asking God to, you know, remove it, to, you know, take it away if it's a sin, you know, and God would it. And I would pray, and I was like, God, help me hate her. I wanted to hate my mother. And I just kept hearing, like, God talk to me. He would say, like, you were put here to show her unconditional love. And after me coming out about, you know, my sexuality, I, you know, distanced myself from church and religion, you know, and that furthermore validated the hate or the hatred that they had towards me. You're a sinner, you don't like God anymore. And my thing was, I just wanted to understand, why is it that God will put me through this? And you're not giving me any tools to fix it. You know, I cried, I prayed, I laid on the altar, I fasted. Everything that I did, everything that you taught me, every tool that you gave me never worked. I never celebrated my birthday as a child. Never got a birthday gift, never, you know, was celebrated as a child. And so my brother, I'll never forget, my brother that year was like, my mom was like, what do you want for your birthday? He was like, I want some money. And she was like, money? He was like, yeah, I want to get my brother a birthday gift. That birthday comes, the cake was a white cake and it was decorated. And it said, happy birthday, Demetrius. Demetrius is my brother. And then at the bottom, in a different icing, it said Noonie. My nickname is Noonie. That broke me because it was just affirming that everything that I was experiencing was real. You know, all of these things were kind of the catalyst to make me want to leave away from my family. I wanted to distance myself as far away from my mother as I could physically. At about 16, I wanted to run away. And I remember my mom came home from work one day, irate, crazy, because she found out that I was talking to a guy. We got into it. She was just like punching me everywhere. And she called me in her room and I was sitting there. And at that point, I was so numb to what was going on that I just sat there. I was like, and then when she was done, I was like, are you done? You done? It's over. I didn't cry. I didn't feel any emotion. I was so numb. So I just decided, I called my best friend, Samantha, at the time. I was like, get me out of here. If I didn't leave the house that night, I would not be alive today. I know for a fact, if I never moved away from Pensacola, if I never moved out of my mom's house, I would have died by her hand or my own. My aunt had a dream 2 months prior to that. And she said, I had a dream that your mother killed you. And it scared me because I had also had a dream that I died, but I didn't know how I died. And I was like in my bedroom, in my childhood bedroom, and I was walking down the hallway and it was dark. And I knew I was at home. I walked out the front door and I just started to like lift off the ground, and I could see like little white orbs, like as far as my eye could see, but I knew I was dead. And then my aunt called me and told me that. I didn't even know I was gay, you know, growing up, people calling me gay. You're gay, you're gonna be gay. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. I didn't even know what it was, but I just always knew that I was different, you know, from birth. I grew up in a Christian school, you know, loving God, very religious. My grandmother brought me up in church. All of these experiences, being told that being, you know, gay was a sin, all of these, I didn't even think me gay. No, you know, I love God. God wouldn't put me through that. Women did not fulfill me sexually, and I felt that, you know, Am I just doomed and destined for hell because I don't sexually get stimulated by women? I was just confused. I always was attracted to men. I would see a man and be like, something in me would, light up. My mom had a best friend, and her best friend's name was D. And I remember D had a boyfriend, and I thought D's boyfriend was so cute. I remember what he looked like and everything. I was intrigued and I wanted to follow him. I wanted to, be around him all the time. I just remember seeing him and feeling seen for the first time. Whenever he would come, I would feel like, beyond words, he understood me. Being young, I'm experiencing gayness through the lens of other people. I'm like, oh, this is what gay is? Oh, gay is hyper feminine. And I'm like trying to be hyper feminine, but it doesn't feel right in my body. I'm like, okay, cool, this is not me. Gay is like, partying all the time. I'm a homebody. So everything that I was taught that gay was, honestly, I was the opposite. I fit more of the straight narrative than I did the gay narrative outside of the sexual experience. Just based on what society deems gay or straight. I'm not attracted to every man. I'm not attracted to this or that. I'm attracted to the energy that I'm attracted to. It's kind of crazy because my mom always had like a gay best friend. It's kind of crazy to me. But my mom had this friend, his name was Joe. He was the perfect example of who I am today. Loves cologne, very well put together, loved entertainment. He was very, vibrant yet subtle. He was the perfect reflection of me. And so when I met Joe, it just shifted everything. Everything inside of my heart felt right. He would always tell me, you're special. When my mom wasn't around, he would say things like, you're gonna be somebody one day. He would say things to me and it just kind of lifted me up each time. And he knew he could see, himself in me, and I could see myself in him as a child. So that was the first time I understood what gay was. It wasn't what you do, it's who you are. It's the energy you exude. Joe passed away when I was about 11. And before he passed away, my mom took me to the hospital to see him on his deathbed. In my soul, I knew she was saying like, this is what gay is. If you're gay, this is what's gonna happen to you. She would tell me stuff like, you're gonna get AIDS. You're gonna die. She would say these things to me. So when I'm seeing Joe and he's on a deathbed, I don't even know if he died from whatever or not. It's just confirming, like, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. She planted that seed. My mom accepted everybody but me. I wish my mom would come to me and say, this is why I can't accept you. It's always just based on religion. I'm like, that still doesn't make sense. Because if you are of God and God accepts everybody just as they are, why is it so hard for you to accept me? Why is it so easy for you to accept, this person and that person, but you can't accept me? Why is it easy for you to, lean and love? I mean, my mom is an amazing person. I'm sitting here talking about her, and I know she's done all these things, but I can name a million things she's done beautifully, but for other people. It's so many things that she didn't do. It's so many things that she did do. And I feel that our relationship has been just an ebb and a flow of like what she's willing to accept and embrace about me, but it's forcing her to accept and embrace something about herself. I don't think it's so much of, just the gay thing. I think it's a bunch of things, and she had an idea for me. There's a lot of things that I feel like she never was allowed to do. She was never allowed to say. So learned habit is because I didn't get to do it. Now I'm going to tell you, you can't do it because I couldn't do it, So there was just a lot of, back and forth with, sex and sexuality, freedom of speech. Even as a grown man, I can't cuss. Even as a grown man, I can't live because my mother doesn't agree with everything. Everybody that I looked up to that was gay, they're all dead from one way or another. And my one wish is that my mom would get out of her way and see that they're all gone. Everybody's gone. All of her gay friends, except for one, is dead. And that all her son wants is for her to love him unconditionally and accept him.